Hi everybody. Thank you so much for joining. We are doing a Ask Me Anything live. My lips are like so dry. So we sent an email the beginning of this week, and if you're on our mailing list, you would have gotten that email. But we essentially wanted to do sort of a question answer style live video with you all. And so we asked, the question, what would you like to know about us? Any questions you have about products or the brand or anything upcoming. So you guys all sent in a ton of questions. I have them sitting right here in front of me at my computer, and I thought I would go through and answer some of them while doing my makeup. About an hour ago, I was like, oh, I should probably do my makeup before I jump on live. And I thought, you know what, why don't I do it on live? A lot of the questions are pertaining to the makeup style that I wear, or like the products that I use, or even the order in which I apply my makeup. So I figured it'd be super easy to just do all of that here. So thank you all so much for joining. If you want to stick around, I'll be applying a lot of the products in my Subtl stack. And then talking through some of your burning questions. Also, feel free to pop any additional questions you have into the chat below, and I'll answer them while I'm going through my makeup. So I have no makeup on right now. My brows look a mess, so no judgment. I also just got back from my home country of New Zealand. I was there for longer than I anticipated, but I got to catch up with my family. First time that I've seen a lot of my family in 3 to 4 years, so it was really nice. But as you can probably see, I got a little sunburned, I got a little freckly. I wore as much sunscreen as I could, but of course sometimes the sun finds a way to get to you. So I'll be showing you kind of how I let my natural freckles still show through. But yeah, let's get started. So the first question that sort of came in, and I thought would be a really great way to sort of kick this off, is asking about foundation. And Angela was wondering, because we don't offer foundation in our line, what a makeup routine looks like without the foundation, but also what do other people do about the foundation. So the short version is that it depends. I go back and forth depending on, sort of the style of makeup that I'm looking for. If I'm going very, very minimal, if I'm like, I don't know, maybe going to a quick dinner with my husband, or I'm not trying to get super cute, I'll just do, or like work, for example, I'll just do the concealer and then everything in my stack. If I'm trying to look a little bit more elevated, a little bit more glam, I'll put on foundation as part of that. So we don't currently offer foundation. We are working on it. I can't promise timelines. Foundation's super tricky, but that is actually a product that has been requested since day one, and it is very much something that we are working on. So definitely stay tuned. In the meantime, I have been using this Armani foundation. I have very dry skin, in particular in the winter. So if you have dry skin like me, I find oftentimes products that are geared towards people with dry skin, it's like very, very heavy and dewy to the point to where I look oily, if that makes sense. So I've had quite a journey in finding a foundation. I think that's why we've taken so long to launch a foundation, because I'm so particular. But I quite like this one. It's good. It is more mattifying, which was kind of a nice change from all of the like heavy dewy product. But in the winter it can be a little bit dicey. So if I were applying this, if this was like 4 days ago when I was home in New Zealand, it would be fine. But oh, hi, Angela's in here. But I use, when I use this in the summer, it's totally fine. But when I apply it in the winter, sometimes I can pull up my dry patches. So we'll see how it goes. Now, another question I wanted to answer kind of while I'm applying my makeup. Karen asked what order I apply my products in. So when I'm wearing foundation, I've just started this new thing where I actually layer some of my products in underneath. In particular, I've been layering my lip and cheek, which I have, this is my stack that I'm working with today. Lip and cheek in shade Mauve. It is like a customer favorite. It's the one we always try to keep in stock, but that one's right here. And that's also part of the starter stack if you are new or if you haven't purchased. The starter stack is a really great place to start. So I just go in with my ring finger. This is kind of like a skincare hack, but to always apply any kind of products, especially around the eyes, though I'm not right now, with your ring finger. It is the most, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like less harsh on your skin than the other fingers. I don't know why. Maybe this is like this big myth in skincare, but it's something that I've definitely bought into. So I always try to use my ring finger when I can. So what I like to do is, since I'm layering this, I'm not super careful with where I apply it on my face. In fact, I'm quite kind of aggressive with it. Or less precise, I might say. But I did just turn 31 this year, so I like to try and apply my product kind of in an upward motion. You'll see myself in a couple of our creators also doing that as well. So I just use my finger for this. We have a 4-piece brush set that you can also use the stippling brush for. That was another question we had. But I wanted to kind of apply these, really how I apply it every day. And sometimes I just like to use my finger instead. Also, with it being winter, I find that any kind of brush can be quite abrasive on my skin. And so I try to use my fingers where I can. I think other girlies with dry skin will definitely know what I'm talking about. There was a question if Subtl can be used on oily skin. It definitely can. I would say that our concealer tends to be more on the dewier side, which sort of brings me into another question that we get asked. We're out of stock on a lot of our concealers, and I know we haven't really been speaking to what the timeline is to getting those back. So kind of a spoiler alert on this live, we are in the process of reformulating our concealer. It still has all of the properties that you love, don't worry, but it does solve a couple of the problems that or issues that have been brought to our attention. If you've been here for a while, you know that we're constantly working on improving our products every step of the way. And so we went through all of your feedback over the last 2 years and have been working on a new concealer. I think we're on like month 11 at this point. So hoping to launch it this quarter, if not early, next quarter. But that's why we haven't restocked some of the products that are out of stock. It just does not make sense to restock it in the old formula because we're so close and it's so good. I literally have a sample like right here. I've been using it like almost all year. It's really, really excellent. I'm so excited. So definitely worth the wait. Okay, so now I have my lip and cheek. I said I was gonna go up and then I just went all the way over, so we're just gonna go with it. So then I'm gonna go in with my foundation. Like I said, I use the Luminous Silk from, Giorgio Armani. Really great for more of a mattifying look for dry skin without it like caking down or like clinging to dry spots, which I know some of them do. So I just put like just a little on my hand. I have a sponge that I did wet. Again, it's winter. If it was summer, I might use a brush, but I'm really trying to be as gentle as possible. And if you've seen my videos, you see that I kind of do this, but then I regret it because it looks cool on camera, but then it dries really quickly. So I gotta move fast. And then this is the boring part. I saw a couple of questions about if you haven't ordered Subtl yet, like what are some really great products to start with? And I would definitely say like my non-negotiables, like the products that I always keep in my stack. And this is just me, it sort of depends on the products you're reaching for each day. But I really like the lip and cheek. If you had to pick one, I honestly would pick, I'm probably gonna say the one that's out of stock, Plum. I know we're getting it back in stock. Mauve is super popular as well, but depending on how dark your natural lip color is, sometimes those lighter shades don't show up as well. Like I have very dark lips, and so you'll see I'll put mauve on in a little bit. It basically matches the exact same shade. So if your lips are any darker than that, they may not show as well. But it's all trial and error, of course, and just let us know, and if it doesn't work for you, we can exchange it for you, no worries. All right. So someone mentioned about sanitizing. Yes. So that's why we actually launched, so I guess I should have provided more context. Someone said that when they're using their stack in the car with their fingers in particular, they feel like they need to sanitize. And I like to sanitize before I use my stack anyway, especially if I'm on the go. We also launched the 4-piece brush set for that reason as well. So when I'm out of the house and I have to apply my makeup, which is mostly like in the parking lot in my car, I will use the 4-piece brush set, or, you know, I just use a little bit of my hand sanitizer beforehand. Again, if it's winter and if I really want to use my my fingers. But that's, you know, a way that we're, you know, working around that. But that's with all makeup, you know. It all depends. Okay, I think we're blended. I have a mirror off to the side. Let me check. We are not all blended. We are not all blended. Okay. Just gonna go back in with my finger. I haven't used this color in a while, so it's patching a little. That's okay. All right. So that's the foundation. And so you'll see, this feels like an ad for this foundation. It's great. I like it a lot. You can get it on Sephora. But you'll see that it doesn't leave a super like glowy look, but it's also not too matte. Like there's still a little bit of shine, which I like. Yeah, so definitely recommend for, I guess, everybody really, but if you have dry skin, works well. Okay, so then I did apply my lip and cheek underneath. Because this is like fuller coverage, it obviously like covered it up like a lot more, but it does allow that like subtle pink to kind of come through, so that's why I kind of like doing that. But then we also have the powder blush, which I'm going to dip into next, and I have the shade Day Trip at Dawn. And then I'm going to use a Stack Brush BFF, which comes free with every purchase. So I wanted to use one brush for the powder product so that I could show off the dry brush cleaner. If you have it, you know how like revolutionary this is. But basically what it does is you can use a product, and I'll demonstrate obviously, but you can dip this into a product, apply it where you need to. But you know how sometimes there's still a little extra color on the brush, and so you can't use the same brush for like shine control powder or bronzer. We have this dry brush cleaner where you just like swirl this on it and it collects all of the additional pigment and leaves your brush like clean to pick up lighter shades or even just like different shades if you don't want it to kind of mix too much. So definitely a game changer. So I'm gonna dip into our blush. Now our powder blush is very pigmented, so it does not take much. I would rather go in and do less and build. So I'm just gonna like dab. I don't know if you can see, but that's already showing a little tappity tap. Let me, before I apply this, see if I can answer any other questions while I'm applying. Oh, well, someone asked when was the last time that I traveled home to New Zealand. I was just there. I was there for Christmas. I haven't been home and like since pre-COVID. I don't know if you've been following the news, but their borders were like completely closed for 2 years, I think. Oh my gosh, I just realized my cat is in here with me, so if he makes an appearance, don't mind him. So yeah, so it was amazing. It's like summer right now, although it was super rainy. I took my husband and my mother-in-law, and they got the most rain this January than they've ever gotten in the last like 50 years. Of course, my luck. But it's still beautiful. If you've ever been to New Zealand, you'll know. And obviously I'm biased, but I know other people think it's pretty cool too. So if you ever get the chance to go down there, definitely do it. So Whitley said that she likes the idea of the stack, but she's not a fan of the concealer. Totally get it. Definitely recommend Hanging Tight, because we are going to launch a new and improved version of our current concealer that I think you're really gonna like. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so as you can see, like you saw how little I picked up on the brush, and like how much kind of came out on my cheeks. So I'm gonna just go ahead and like really sort of blend that. And let's see if there's another question. So Megan asked what my favorite places to shop are. So I do a lot of online shopping. Something about malls, I can't do it. It's very overwhelming. And I always have a really hard time like making a decision. Like I'm the kind of person who has like 8 different carts open, and I'll like keep revisiting it like every few days, and it takes me forever to like actually pull the trigger, which has really burned me in the past, because then things like go out of stock and then I realize I actually really wanted them. But I really like lulus.com, not to be confused with Lululemon, but they have a really wide variety of clothes, and they're not like crazy expensive, which I love. I also really like Zara's clothes, but if you've ever shopped on their website, it is like, it's a nightmare. I cannot make sense of any of the products that I'm looking at. So what I'll actually do is I'll go on like TikTok, and we'll get inspiration from Zara there, and then I'll like note down, this is like so intense, but I'll like note down the like product number, and then I'll search for it, and that's kind of how I shop that site. So when I do find things, like I really like them, and I get a lot of compliments for those clothing, but man, that website is a nightmare. Okay, so we have the blush on. I'm gonna do bronzer next, but I'm gonna show you, I'm going to take some of this pigment off. We like only picked up a very small amount, so I shouldn't, you know, really need to do this step, but I wanted to, before we do the bronzer. And then please get a lighter shade of concealer. It's too orangey for me. So I'm glad you said that. As part of the shade expansion, I'm sorry, well, there, I gave it away. As part of the formulation change, we are adding a couple more shades just to fill in some of those gaps that you guys identified. So trust us, we're listening. As long as you keep sharing and like providing your feedback and sending that in, we are making those adjustments, you know, in real time. So keep an eye out for that. All right, so I'm going to now do the bronzer, and I have the shade Chai in this current stack. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay. So just gonna use that same brush because we already used the dry brush cleaner to get the blush off. This is also, I wouldn't say like super pigmented, but you don't need a ton, and really it's designed that way so that we didn't have to try and fit a ton of powder that contains a bunch of filler. We were really concentrating on the pigment so that it does not take a lot to get, you know, what you need out of it, and you can get a ton of uses out of this as much as a full-size product, because what's the point in having the travel size if you have to keep buying it, right? So that's why a lot of our products are very pigmented. It's so a little can go a lot more or a lot longer, I guess. So, all right, I'm going to try to start just at the end of that blush and kind of come up and around. And then it always picks up my baby hairs. I don't know if anyone else has that issue. And I tend to have like a longer face. I don't know, let me know if you've ever done like the those like filters where you find out your face shape. But so ever since I found that out, I have been sort of like trying to contour my forehead. I don't know if it kind of works, but I just keep doing it, you know? And then sometimes I bring my bronzer down. I'm not going to do that all that much today. And then I do like to kind of frame underneath just to connect the color that's happening up here, down here. Just want to make sure I didn't miss any questions. Sunset eyeshadow back in stock. So that one is on, that one contains raw materials that are very delayed. It might be a little while, but send an email to customer support. They're probably gonna kill me. We might have like 1 or 2 left in the office. So just like if you really, really, really want to send a message, I can't make promises, but we may have a few just to hold you over until we get that back in. Okay. All right. So that's bronzer. Yes, bronzer. So next I'm gonna go back into dry brush cleaner. Kara said that she loves her stack. The powder blush is a little hard to blend. It is very pigmented. I don't know if you were here earlier, like I picked up, say this is the blush, I literally just went like that and then I tapped it out. That's all that you need. And then just lightly tap just to deposit the color. And then even like after that step, if you want to go back and with the dry brush cleaner, remove any excess and then blend it, that hopefully will help with the blending. Because like I said, definitely packs a big punch. Okay, and then a little hack that I've been doing, I'm not gonna put eyeshadow on today. I'm going just to like grab drinks with friends after, so I'm going for a little bit of a no makeup look. But I've been using the Jelly Shimmer as like a little something on my nose. Actually, I'm gonna do the step after. I'm gonna do the shine control first. So I'm gonna go in. So every stack that you order, if you don't have one already, comes with this like little applicator on the bottom. So I'm gonna take my shine control powder and I just wanna add just like a little bit. Okay. Because I do have dry skin, I really don't need a lot, but I felt like sometimes my makeup I did get a little oily in my T-zone, but any kind of powder would make me look super, super dry. So we sort of formulated this powder in a way that will like control your shine without dimming your glow, but that's truly what it does. Okay, so that's shine control layer done. And then I'll go back into that hack. So the jelly, I take like my pinky finger, just like the tiniest little amount. And I just like, it's like very intense, but like add it as like a cute little, like, oh, I'm dewy, you know? It's not winter. My skin's not dry. So sometimes if I don't want to carry like all my products in my stack, that's kind of a hack that I've been doing. Instead of carrying my highlighter, I'll just carry my Jelly eyeshadow duo, and then I use the shimmer to highlight in like all the places that I want to highlight. And then I can still use like the matte side and the shimmer as a combo to actually do like an eyeshadow look. So super great. Yeah. All right. Next question. We got a lot of questions about like product development. So we do have a couple of things in the works. I would also like love to hear just, you know, the people that are on this live, like what would you like to see in your stack next? If you are a current customer, you know, like we ask you what other products you'd like to see, and we are looking at that like almost every single day, and building up sort of our roadmap. So Kara asked if we're gonna come out with a cream bronzer. It's so funny, as part of this, when we were asking questions in the email, that came up a lot, but it didn't come up in the, like we have this little survey we do, and it wasn't as popular there. So I think I might need to send out like a new survey, just to, you know, to see what the true want is for that product. But yeah, cream bronzer. I love cream bronzer. Sometimes I use it like under my foundation, like similar to the blush or like the lip and cheek hack. You can also use a darker concealer shade as a cream bronzer. It's not like the perfect hack, especially it depends on your skin tone, of course. But some people have found like the perfect sort of like contour color within our concealer range, and they'll put that under, so it works perfectly for them. Okay. A lot of questions about brow. Mish just asked that too. So we started working on it last year. I will be like fully transparent. We started working on it last year, and we just weren't happy with the type of products that we were kind of coming up with. I think that we're having a hard time getting a good sense of what everybody is using and wanting, whether that be powder, whether that be gel. Do you want it in the stack? Do you want it as a wand, like something separate to the stack? So keep an eye out. We might send out a couple more surveys, just like getting a good sense of the type of brow product that you want. We'll make it. We just feel like right now we don't have a good grasp on the actual type of formula that you're looking for. So definitely, yeah, let me know what you want. Now I will say, and my eyebrows are perfect for this right now, but I have a little hack that was given to me by a customer on TikTok. And so what you do is, from the 4-piece brush set, which this one's looking very dirty, you can take the lip brush and then dip into the Dune eyeshadow. Now, obviously it's not going to work for everybody, right? But it's like a quick little teensy tiny hack. Like I have like the smallest amount, just to kind of like fill in. It's really hard to do this like on camera. I might need to get my mirror off to the side. Which, speaking of, someone asked about a mirror in the stack. Yes, that is also something that we're working on. Because I feel your pain on that. If there's like no mirror around, it can be really challenging. Now, of course, we like design our products that you can apply without a mirror, because of a lot of it is intuitive, and you can use your fingers, you can use just one brush, like you can definitely apply your makeup without a mirror. However, I'm with you on wanting the mirror, and so keep an eye out for that this year too. And like a mirror actually in the stack. Okay, so you see how like it's not perfect, but it definitely like fills in those gaps. I'll just go in a little bit again. This is the Dune eyeshadow, and this is powder. Oh, my brows are like insane right now. Okay. So I've never tried to like draw on brows, but it's definitely, this hack works to like fill them in. But Dune is definitely like more on the warmer tone, so it can be a little bit, it's not perfect, right? But yeah, let me see if I can pin that product for you so you can see where it is. Oh, I'll just pin the eyeshadow for you. Also, really cool thing, our follower count is tracking super high, and it looks like we're gonna hit, I have like the tracker next to me, it looks like we're gonna hit 100,000 followers today, which is like, I remember the minute we hit 10,000 and it was like the best day ever. All it really meant is that I could use different tools, but the team is super excited. are, you know, we've just like had so much fun on Instagram this past year. So tag your friends, get them to follow. Let's like get us up to 100,000. I think we have like 50 more to go. So yeah, very excited about that. I know that Lexus, who you'll often sort of see posting on our Instagram, she has put together something special for 100,000. So really, really excited about that. Okay, I realized I did not finish this look, but brow hack in. Along with my nose, my lips also got very burned this past week. So I have been layering the lip balm, but you'll see there's like a little bit of hyperpigmentation there. And then I did say that I would do the mauve on my lip just to show you like how close to my lip color that is. Like you saw when it went on my cheek, and it is the exact same color essentially as my lip. So what I'll do is I'll actually just put on Plum so you can kind of see it pop a little bit more. So if you have like lighter, like a natural lip color, mauve is going to be perfect for you, and it works for like 95% of skin tones. But for those of you who are a little bit like me, have darker natural lip, especially if they're recently burned like mine is, going with like a slightly darker color, so either the Dusty Rose, or I have the Plum right here, which is a cult favorite, and we can like hardly keep it in stock. So I just do a little of that. And it doesn't take much, so depending on how you apply it, it can either look very like plummy and concentrated, or it can look a lot more natural. I only took like a tiny bit of it, and I'm layering it on top of a lip balm, so it's not gonna look too concentrated. Almost just like a tint, like a flush. And so that is the Plum Lip and Cheek. It looks a little intimidating on the website. I tried to make it look less intimidating, so like showing what it looks like on skin and on the models. But it is a really versatile color. It also looks really great on cheek. Use it in small doses, but it comes out almost more like reddish, and depending on your skin tone, like almost more pinkish. So it's a very cool color. Okay, I want to wrap this up. Let me just see any other questions that you have. Definitely drop them in. Looks like we gained a couple more followers, which is awesome. We're so close. Restock of Plum is happening, I think in the next month. I am not even back in the office technically yet, since I just got back from New Zealand. I'll be back in the office Monday, so I'll check in with the team and see how everything's going, and try to get some updated dates for you. But yeah, we are, that's like top of the list to get in terms of restock. And then any new colors coming soon, always. So we have thank you, Cassie. We have a really big launch coming soon. We've been working on this honestly like since the day I launched Subtl. So it's been a labor of love. The date keeps getting pushed back, so I've always just been wary of actually saying, you know, giving you a timeline, a specific timeline. But I can for sure say this year, and I can for sure say the first half of the year, so keep an eye out. Along with that, we're going to be doing the new concealer, so I'm so excited for you to see that. The new formula, and then also a couple of new shades. We're also working on foundation. That has been taking quite a long time. We don't have a launch date for that yet. We're just working through the formula right now. We want to make sure that everything is as perfect as we can get it for you. So we've been asking a bunch of questions and getting all of your feedback. So I really feel like though you're not part of the day-to-day process, just know that if you've shared any kind of feedback, that your feedback is being taken into consideration while we're developing this product. So really excited. Some more shade expansions. I know we had a couple of questions about the lip balm flavors. Right now we don't have a plan to launch new flavors. I think we're just like very focused on this really big launch coming up, and then we'll kind of relook at lip balm flavors. It's been weird. Some of them have been really popular, flying off the shelves, and others not so much. So we're still trying to get a sense of like the the flavor profiles that everybody likes. We do have a list from, I think, last year that you guys gave us of all the different flavors that you like. So we might experiment with some new ones and then maybe bring back some ones that everyone loved last year. I did see on our story someone asking when chai was going to be back. So apologies that we don't have, you know, a definitive answer for you on that one. But please keep letting us know. That's how we know which products to prioritize, which products that maybe we don't need to restock, or products that you definitely want us to restock. So keep sharing your thoughts because we definitely take that into consideration as well. And then any plans for an empty stack recycling program? Yes. So I can't share too much, but know that that is also top of mind, and more to come in a few months. That's all I can say. Yes, stacks are so great for vacation. I actually took like a bit of a mega stack to New Zealand with me. I was there for a few weeks and doing some filming there too. So I had like, I'll actually show you. I had this like giant mega stack. This one that I use today always just stays in my little clutch that I take like everywhere. And so this is the one that I reach for in all cases. So yeah. Final question. Oh gosh. Okay. There's a couple more. How old is Subtl? So I had the idea for Subtl back in 2016, very long time ago. It feels like, I started working on it toward the end of 2016. And because I self-funded the launch, it took a while for me to like save money, and actually afford to launch it. So I think we launched sort of like the end of 2018. If you've been there, you know, since day one, shout out to you. Yeah, we sort of officially launched, end of 2018, which December is like an awful time to launch a brand. I don't know if you know this, but we, you know, it is what it is, and everything kind of works out in the end. So that's when we launched. And then someone asked about my favorite eyeshadow duo. I go back and forth. I think I really like Jelly because of that highlighter hack and the versatility. Like if I could only stack one eyeshadow duo, like that would be the one that I would do. Close second, I really liked Cruise. We launched that back in August, but I like to go for the more sort of muted, natural looking duos. We have a couple of really fun bright ones, like Sunset looks amazing, especially with blue eyes. But I know that we don't have a plan to restock, so I won't talk about that one too much, but I love Jelly. It's great. However, customer favorite, not Cruise, oh my gosh, Crush. Everybody loves Crush. That's like a huge favorite. So keep that in mind. Oh my gosh, as promised. Hey, you can't be here. He wants to get out. So with that, I will end the live because Chandler needs to be let out of this room. He's going nuts. But thank you so much for joining me. Feel free to leave any additional questions in our latest Instagram post, and we'll get to them. Also, let us know if you would like for us to do this again. You can purchase directly from Instagram or head on over to our website. Yeah, and this is my Subtl stack, and thank you so much for watching. Keep an eye out. I think we're gonna hit 100,000 followers today, which is so exciting. Everyone go give Alexis your love on our latest Instagram post. Okay, thanks everybody. Bye.